I don't know if this will stay. Cool.
This preseason's a lot different than it was, when you started, but how much game time do you really need? Or, how important is it to at least get out there, feel it on the grass?
I think there's some value there. Like, just get out there and, just get the feel of the flow of a game again. Like obviously like the operational stuff of like switching personnels, like hearing the call, like in the huddle, playing like specific situations, right? So I think there's a lot of value in it, not just for veteran guys, but for young guys as well.
How do you think the joint practices went against the Jaguars this week, and what do you think you got out of it?
I thought they went pretty good. Like, as with anything, you have like your ups and your downs, right? Like, there's some stuff that we want to improve on, but I think generally like we made like a lot of big plays. I think we improved on like a lot of our emphasis. Did some really good stuff in the run game. Obviously, I think like the second practice we didn't have any pads on, so it's hard to really get much run game work there. So try to focus on the pass game. Yeah, we got some good work though. They got some good guys over there.
Chris, in terms of understanding this offense, just kind of fluency, where do you think you are from where at this point?
I mean, honestly, I think we're in a good spot. Like, not perfect, right? But it's like there's still a lot of nuances to learn. But just in terms of like our general like understanding of like the scheme itself and like what we're trying to do as an offense, I think a lot of guys have a really good like feel for it. And I mean, I guess like that's a testament to the coaching staff and the way that they've installed it. We've been working really hard and since OTAs, really just installing everything and trying to like figure out the best way to go about it so that everyone really really understands it. So I think we're in a good spot now, but obviously there's room to grow.
Chris, you've spent a lot of time with these guys, this group out here since the offseason and now through training camp that's almost over. What has stood out to you about this group of guys?
Are you talking about like the receivers or just the offense?
The whole team altogether.
It's good.
Any surprises really that stood out?
I don't know if there have been many surprises, but I think each year, I think one of the things that kind of stands out to me is like I feel like the classes of rookies like come in like a little bit more ready, or just like more able to like handle like the workload. Like obviously like the transition from college to pros like is a speed difference, is like a conceptual difference, like understanding like how to play ball. But like speaking about like receivers, like if I feel like each year our receiver group gets like better and better, and we have more and more guys that in my opinion can like legitimately like have a shot at making the team, which is like that's impressive. Like that's a testament to those guys and the work that they put in, and just being willing to come in and just work under it's tough conditions, right? Like you're fighting for your for your livelihood, and it's hot out here. The expectation levels rise. So I think that's probably like the biggest thing that stands out to me is just how guys come in ready to work.
Do you give some advice to some of the guys that are maybe on the bubble here that's going into this last week of how to handle this situation?
I try to just give guys advice just throughout as situations kind of arise, right? Like, I'm a firm believer that, like, the way that we further the game is to just, like, pass the information that was passed to us. We continue to pass that down. So I always give guys advice whenever things come up. So, like, not necessarily specifically to, like, being on the bubble, but, like, just in trying to take advantage of your opportunities. It's like all of us are blessed to be in this position, right? Like, whether you're a bubble guy or whether you're a guy that's solidified or, a guy on your way out. Like, it's an unbelievable blessing to be in this position, to get to, like, do what we love and do what a lot of people would dream of doing, just, like, for a living. So just try to, like, encourage guys to be present, just be in the moment and just enjoy it.
On that topic of new wide receivers, what can you say about Cameron Johnson and the plays that he's made when he's been available? He had a nice touchdown catch in the joint training camp practices against Jacksonville, too.
Yeah, he's Cam is somebody like this coming. And I think he's been a great fit for our room, right? I don't know if many people knew about him coming in, but like you can tell like immediately like when you watch him that he's a baller, right? Like with receivers, like one of the things I look for the most is like their eye discipline when it comes to catching the ball. And like if you watch him, his eyes are always on the ball. Like his tracking of the ball in traffic, like he makes tough catches. Like in contact, he makes good catches out like in open space. He runs really good routes. He's a strong guy, smart kid. I like him, man. He's a really good player.
I apologize if you've already answered this, but now that you've had a chance to see Baker, in this offense and everything, and kind of been with them this camp, what changes have you noticed from last year to this year now that it's this new system and also the fact that like this is really his team now?
I mean, I think like your latter point is probably the biggest difference is like there's not a question about like who the guy is, right? Like he knows that it's his team, and I think he moves accordingly. And not even like in like an arrogant way or anything, but just like understanding the level of communication that needs to happen between him and like the rest of the guys about like whether it's like where we need to be at, about like improving specific plays or just like trying to like communicate the things that like him and Liam talk about so that we're all on the same page.
A specific instance that you can think of where he, you felt that assertiveness, like this is Baker's team, or like an example where they're pulling a guy off to the side, or where you could really feel that like this is his team now.
I mean, I don't know if there's like one specific instance, but I mean, you can like if you watch him at practice, like he does it all the time. Like he's walking around talking to the offensive linemen, talking to receivers, like going back and forth like with Liam. Just again, like we're trying to figure it all out. Like this is like a work in progress, and it will continue to be. So the more communication we're able to have, like the more like of an open chain of communication we have, I think the better. And you watch him kind of operate in that way. Like he's trying to not only like understand from his perspective, but to communicate that to the rest of the guys, so that we're on the same page.
Do you like the setup for this preseason, the way it's going maybe now for the last 2 years, where you guys, the veterans, don't play in the first 2 preseason games, get more out of maybe the dual practices? Is that better? Do you feel like you get more out of the system?
I feel like I do, just because like in joint practices you're still going against like a lot of guys that you would in a game, but you're getting more than just like a series or two. You're getting a lot of very like specific situational work, like whether you're working on like third downs, on red zone, 2-minute, like a lot of situations that may or may not come up in the course of 2 drives in the preseason game. You're getting that work, so I like the setup. I think like it allows you to structure things in a way to get the most work, for your guys, right? Like as you can without putting them in jeopardy of, unnecessary injuries.
Are you for 2 preseason games?
One more time?
Are you for 2 preseason games if it goes that way?
I guess that just depends on what's on the other side of it.
I know that you've had a chance to work with Liam Cohen for some time now. You were here during OTAs and stuff too. What separates him? What makes him unique as an offensive coordinator and a play caller?
I would say one thing that stands out about Liam is just like his eagerness. Like you can tell he's very excited to be an offensive coordinator, like to have the opportunity to like run the show offensively. Like he loves ball, and like you can tell like his mind is always running. Like he's trying to figure out the best way to do things, like while like taking information and like schemes that he's used or been a part of in the past, while like implementing like and tailoring things to the guys that we have. Like he's always talking about ball and trying to figure out the best way to be as effective as we can as an offense. Like, and when he's on the field, you can tell it means a lot to him. Like he wants it to be perfect, and like, he's trying to push us to be to that point.
That balance with final spots on the roster at wide receiver.
Yeah.
Who's kind of stood out to you so far throughout the process? Is there anyone that you're kind of like, he's shown a lot?
I mean, to be honest, right, I really feel like we probably have like 10 guys that could realistically make the, make the roster. Like we have a loaded group, and like I was mentioning earlier, I feel like each year like you have more and more guys that legitimately could play. Like like Cam has been doing a really great job. Cody, Ryan's been doing a great job. Like Raleigh's done things I think like throughout camp, right? Like Rock has been doing like good things. Like there's been a lot of guys that have made a lot of like plays throughout camp to show that they're capable of doing it. It's just unfortunate that we can't have 10 guys on active, right? I tell you, I don't envy the people that have to make those decisions. So I try not to think too much about it. I just, like I said, I try to encourage guys to be where their feet are, right? Like regardless of if it works out here for, for certain guys or not. Like there's 31 other teams, there's practice squads. I try to like encourage guys to just put their best foot forward. That way, like at the very least, that you gave it your all.
All right, thank you guys.
Yep. Have a good one, y'all.